I made sure to put the one that says fragile, handle with care, all the way at the top, just in case it falls over. But yeah, all this stuff is for the TRI-Z 250. Quick recap, it's been a minute since I posted about the TRI-Z, and that's because parts for this thing are just hard to come by. A company I work with, Power Sports Nation, sent me two TRI-Z 250s. We thought we had an 85 and an 86. Turns out they're both 1985s. One looked nice, so we tried to start it, but it wouldn't start. So we tore it down, and it turned out the machine was in a lot worse shape than what it looked like. It's in need of a full restoration and a lot of parts. Went ahead and designed a color scheme for this thing. It's gonna be yellow and black, the freaking banana, baby. This thing is gonna be awesome. We're gonna take the two machines, break them down, and turn them into one really nice resto mod machine. So yeah, even though we have a huge pile of parts here, it's been a couple of almost months to accumulate all of this. It's just been a lot of time waiting. But we're gonna open up all this stuff. Enough talking. Let's get into it. Before we do that though, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. Now we have so many boxes that we would never be able to open them together on screen in time. We would never be able to finish. So I've strategically put these into two different piles. I'm gonna open up these on my own, and we're gonna check these parts out, and then we're gonna open up these ones together because these are extra special. These are just special, and these are extra special. So let's open these up right here. So we have a lot of cool parts here on the bench. Before I even get into this, thank you to all the companies that are helping with this project. We've got Rocky Mountain ATV, Power Sports Nation, Wicked Metal Designs, Hermosi, BBC TRIKES has hopped on board. I'm really excited about that. I can't do these projects without the help of them, and also without the help of you guys who are watching these videos. But we can start over here. We've got our oil. We've got Maxima. Let me move these brakes so they don't fall over. I'm running Maxima this time. This came from Rocky Mountain ATV. They've got their oil change kits. They come with a paper paper funnel. These are really nice. They come with the oil, and they come with a crush washer for your drain plug. Really nice and convenient. Whatever kind of machine you have, they will send you the correct amount and everything like that. If you need an oil filter, that comes with the kit as well. Then we've got a brake caliper. So this is for the front, and I've got, this is a cheap reproduction Chinese one. These tend to work really well. The only thing I do is I change out the pads, which is why I've got the EBC pads right here. This is for the rear, and this is for the front. But anyways, this is for a CRF 150R. The reason I have that is because we're upgrading the front end of this TRI-Z, and we're going to be running CRF 150R forks. And in order to do that, you have to switch to the CRF 150R brake setup. So that's why that's there. We've got a rebuild kit for the rear brake, the OEM one. This was really rare. This came from like the United Kingdom, I think. But the rear brake caliper is, not a commonly rebuilt thing these days. Moving on, we have, believe it or not, they have a bolt kit for the TRI-Z. This is from Alloy Bolts. They make a kit for the entire machine as well. I decided to just get the bolt kit for the engine because Yamaha never fails. So as I was saying, Yamaha likes to use those crummy Phillips heads on their engines, so I want to replace pretty much all of them with the stainless steel hardware. Then we've got a seal kit for the engine. This is by Boss Bearing. We've got a rebuild kit for the rear master cylinder. We've got bar clamps from Hermosi. So these are the SBC 720s. These are the anti-vibe setup. I've been putting these on pretty much any machine that you can fit them on, which is, they're pretty universal. You can put them on most stuff. I'm gonna see if I can make it work on this TRI-Z. Not only will it be great for stabilization, but they have the rubber inserts. So for two-stroke vibrations, I think that's gonna help out a lot with just making it a more comfortable machine and reducing fatigue. Then of course, we've got the Hermosi factory thumb throttle. I love these things. So that will spruce up the controls and just make things, again, very ergonomic. And as we move down the line here, we've got more controls. We've got the Tusk Chubb bars. So I've actually never got to run these, man. I've tried to get them in the past, and they're usually out of stock. And I think it's because they're at a really good price point. And from what I understand, they're really good bars. These are tall, man. Really tall with the bar clamps and stuff. This thing is, it's gonna be like ape hangers, man. It's probably gonna be, my goal is to make this machine very comfortable and ergonomic, still competitive and fun and powerful. I don't know if competitive is the right word, but enough power that you can, boss your buddies around and have a good time. But I want it to be comfortable, almost like a dooner, but not a dooner, like a very mild dooner where you can hop on it and be comfy, ride it all day long and not be beat up. That's my goal here. Now, here are the grips that I chose. These have become my favorite grips. The Torque One Racing clamp-ons. I've tried ODIs. I've completely grown out of regular grip glue kind of grips. The clamp-ons are the way to go, and I just like the Torque One racing ones. They seem to last a long time, and I like that there's only one clamp on the inside, not on the inside and outside like ODI. I've never had one twist, and they're easier to install. I just like them. So yeah. And then behind there is a Tusk chain. I believe it's an O-ring chain. It's either an O-ring or an X-ring. But that's nothing too crazy in there. We'll leave that in the box. And we've got the Tusk axle. This is for a Yamaha Blaster or a Yamaha Raptor. It should fit the TRI-Z, and I believe it will, because here is the TRI-Z axle right here, and this next to it is the Raptor axle. So you can see they're identical, and then this one here is a Blaster axle. Believe it or not, they're all interchangeable. The Blaster one is just a little bit shorter. And then over here we've got some, believe it or not, this is what was in the Fragile box that said, like, you know, don't drop. That big box had one thing of gaskets in it, which, I mean, dude, you could probably like throw this, you know, across the room and it would be just fine. But they had it filled with packing material and stuff like that. Kind of crazy. Moving on from that, we've got a primary drive, rear sprocket, stock sizes, Motion Pro, clutch cable, nothing really too exciting. These are headlights. We're going to get into that in this video. We've got a Talon clutch basket. This thing was pricey, dude. This was like, I forget, like $400. Not a commonly made thing. I actually had to have that. I had to order that, and I think they made it for me. It wasn't like it was in stock or anything. Got a front sprocket right here, primary drive, some V-Force reeds, V-Force 4. Should add some good performance right there. And then this is actually a really rare part. It's a discontinued item. It's the chain slider for the rear swing arm. They don't make these anymore. This was a company that makes them aftermarket. So not really too exciting, but, you know, that's what it is. Oh, and I went right past these levers. So these are, you know, some people will give me crap for these. These are like the Chinese knockoff levers. However, they're the same ones that I have on the Grape Ape. And I kind of like them. They're pretty decent. They come with a clutch perch. It has like a hot start thing. I'm going to shave that off, or I might not even use this perch. I might just use the lever. But they're kind of like the unbreakable style. And they're nice billet. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to mess up. The master cylinder worked really well on the Grape Ape. Aftermarket brakes usually tend to be okay. And the reason I even went with those, because they actually have a nice master cylinder takeoff from the other machines, is because I wanted to have aftermarket levers. And they don't, I couldn't find any nice aftermarket levers for the stock setup. So believe it or not, these I believe are CR replicas from like a CR250R, CRF150R. So I will be able to get, if I want to, I can swap out these levers for ASVs, but these are actually pretty nice. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and run them. You know, this isn't gonna be a race machine or something that's, you know, pushed to the max limitations where it's like, you know, we should definitely go name brand here. We should be okay with those brakes. We're gonna try it. All right, now before we go on to those extra special packages, I wanted to open up this Talon clutch basket with you. This is a really special item because they're really hard to come by. So let me open it up real quick. You can see, it doesn't even say TRI-Z on there. It says, YZ250, 87, or 83 to 87, and then YZ490, 83 to 96. So they have the same clutch basket. Really, really hard to come by the TRI-Z parts. And if you open this up, we've got some instructions in here. Probably nothing too crazy, just like a Hinson basket or a Wiseco. And then here is our basket itself, man. Ooh, look at that, man. Nice billet basket, backing plate. It feels like really good machining. You kind of get a feel for these things after some time. Like the edges are really usually like sharp and kind of uneven when they aren't machined properly, or I shouldn't say properly, but like well. This is machined really nice. You can do this with your hand and not have to worry about getting cut. There's usually really sharp edges on stuff that isn't quite machined as nice as this. Really, really nice piece, nice and lightweight. Nice thick fingers on here. I have the stock one sitting next to me. I'm going to bring it over in a second to compare it. And then we've got some stickers, man. Talon. So this came all the way, I believe, from Britain or England. Not cheap, man. I went back and looked at my invoice. It was $508 for this. You can't get these parts, man. Nobody else is making them. So let me show you the old basket. I've got it right here. You can see the fingers, how much more beefier and heavy duty the Talon is. Really, really nice. Now you can see on the old one, the fingers are like super grooved out to the point where you probably could salvage this by filing and it would be usable, but it wouldn't be good to do that. Really, this needs to be replaced. The other thing is, I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but there's play in the primary drive gear. And that's because the bumpers are worn out inside this primary drive gear. Now, usually when you buy a clutch basket, they come with new bumpers. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit bummed. Nothing bad about Talon. I think this looks like a very nice piece, but for $508, I kind of wish that they would have included the clutch bumpers. So the bumpers are basically these little rubber bushings, and they go inside the clutch basket, and it's like a cushion. It makes for a little bit of grace when you're dumping the clutch and stuff, and gives the engine a little bit of protection so that when you dump the clutch, it doesn't put all of the shock like metal to metal. There's a little bit of a buffering, and they go bad over time. So unfortunately, they're unavailable. I was going to put this basket on in this video, but I need to do some more research and see if I can get some bumpers, because it would be such a shame to take a $500 piece and then, you know, bolt it onto this thing with the old bumpers that are probably from 1985. I'd like to do everything I can to not do that. Maybe there's somebody who makes aftermarket ones, or there's a cross-reference or something where it seems like the 93, I think 93 to 04 YZ250, there's tons of parts for those, but the 87 to 92, or 83 to 87, that year, there's no parts for it. Here's the backing plate, all machined really nice. Again, you usually can't do stuff like this unless it's machined really well. So no bumpers, that's a bummer, but Talon definitely, they've got some great machining, really nice finish here. Very nice piece. So yeah, $500 for a clutch basket is a hard pill to swallow, but when you're dealing with this vintage stuff, especially the rare stuff like this TRI-Z, you have to get it, because it's not like there's any competition or anything out there, or like different you can't price check them. It just is what it is. You gotta do it. If you want a new clutch basket, that's what you gotta pay. But anyways, let's move on. Jeez, I almost just fell over. Let's move on to our extra special packages. We're gonna start with this big ass box. We gotta start with the biggest box, right? I think I know what's in here. Not sure. Could be plastics. I don't know. What else would be in here? Maybe gaskets. Maybe there's just gaskets in here. I don't know. So this came from ZM Performance. Looks like it's pretty well packaged. I'm going to turn around and do it this way, because I've done plastic reviews where I'm showing how they're packaged, because I've received plastics in the mail and they have chafe marks on them, or like little folds, because they were just packaged so poorly, which is a shame. They're not exactly cheap. These came pretty nice. They, can't really package it much better than that. Oh yeah, man. Nothing like new plastics, dude. It's just really fresh. All right, so let me set these to the side, because we've got some more plastics actually. Let's be real, the UPS guy probably threw this all the way across the room. This was a really surprising find, so let me open it up before I talk about it. Just like other parts, like the clutch basket, the TRI-Z parts they're just not there, man. These are by Meyer. They do make a front fender as well, but as far as like the radiator, the side scoops and the tank cover and stuff, I didn't think anybody made them. So this is a company called DC Plastics. Didn't even know they existed, and we're gonna give them a shot. I saw mixed reviews. First impressions though, they look pretty close. Close enough that I don't think we'll have any issues matching. And the price was incredibly affordable. They were by far the cheapest plastics you could buy. Not that there's any other options really for the TRI-Z, but as far as the front fender, this was 66 bucks. The Meyer one is like almost 200. Major difference. So these plastics look pretty decent. They're not perfect. I wouldn't say these are like OEM replicas. Like if you were an OEM guy and looking to do a factory restoration, you probably wouldn't be happy with these. The edges are more rounded and stuff. It's kind of like Meyer in that I believe they're vacuum formed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of replicating OEM, you can see even on this old OEM one, the edges are much more square and everything. It just has a more like pronounced finish, not quite the same. So I think it's going to be great for functionality. The finish is pretty nice on it. They're not as glossy as the Meyer, but they do have a nice shine on them. And in fact, I think I can go around and make these even shinier, probably make it match the Meyer almost exactly. Even on the camera, the way that it is, you probably can't even notice much of a difference from the Meyer. The other thing I noticed is that back here on the OEM one, you've got vents. I don't really know that that's necessary. And I could also cut those out if I really wanted. It's a nice thick plastic. I don't know if you guys can see. It doesn't feel flimsy. Like, it feels like it'll be very durable and usable. From what I understand, this company, DC Plastics, they make a lot of reproduction stuff for vintage. It's really cool that companies are out there doing stuff like this. Plastics for four-wheelers, three-wheelers, and dirt bikes, vintage stuff. There's a lot of them, there's just nothing out there. So it's really cool that they're doing that. And from what I understand, a lot of guys that use DC Plastics actually run these machines and they race them and stuff. So you wouldn't want to get an OEM replica and then end up destroying it. Plus, the price point on these things is excellent. Like I said, this is $66. I think the tank cover was like $30 or $25. I mean, that's crazy. And then these, I think, were like $25 a side or something. So these aren't exactly identical to OEM either. You can see some differences in them. If you come here and look, and also you'll notice you do have to drill the holes in these, which is no big deal. But like these here, these are just cutouts on the aftermarket one. And then if you look at, this is the nicest OEM one that I had in the bunch out of all the parts and stuff. If I had another side, if the other side was like this, I would have just used the OEM one. But you can see like the edges are nicer. They're kind of like rounded and have like they're like sunken in a little bit more. But just like more pronounced, sharper edges and stuff. Unfortunately, this is the second nicest side that I have. I don't know if you guys can see the finish, but it's faded pretty bad. I don't know if one half of the machine was sitting out in the sun and there's like pitting. And if you scratch it, the plastic actually like comes apart. So this, I'm not even sure if this could be restored. Like the integrity of the actual plastic may be too bad. Like it might be brittle, unsure. And then, there's a crack in it right here and stuff. So that was the main reason that I wanted to try these, the DC Plastics out. So I think they will look just fine when they're on there. Like I said, I can actually polish these up, make them shine even better. And when the graphics are on there and stuff, I think it'll look really good. Now for what I'm doing, I think they're gonna be great. Like I said, if you're like doing a vintage restoration and you want it to be just like it was when it came off the showroom floor, if you had like a decent one that you could get restored or you restore it yourself, I would maybe do that. But that's gonna be a lot more expensive and a lot more time consuming. Not bad, man. And by the way, I will have the link for the description or the link in the description for all of the stuff in this video if it's applicable. Some of the stuff is like a one-off and you actually can't get it. I just got lucky. So for those of you that follow the channel, most of my stuff usually becomes a rider at some point in time. So it'd kind of be a shame to have such a rare machine with such rare like plastics on it and then to go beat on it. So it'll be perfect for me. We've got two things here. This is a wire harness from South Texas Banshee. This is kind of a no-brainer for me. Both of the wire harnesses on this machine they've seen better days, and for $55, Kevin is South Texas Banshee. He makes really nice wire harnesses. He has more heat-resistant shielding on them, right in the OEM style connectors. And if there's any issues or anything, the guy is really responsive when it comes to helping you out if there's any kind of problems or you're having like issues connecting and stuff. So again, no brainer for $55. We got a really nice wire harness. And Kevin wrote on the bag, "Thank you, Mike. Hope your build goes well. Say hello to YouTube for me. South Texas Banshee." Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you, man. And then we've got the triangle box. I think I know what's in here, and it goes well with the plastics. That's why I picked it for the next thing to open up. Stupid box. Ooh, who has triangle boxes? I didn't even know they made those. A freaking sweet-ass seat cover. TRI-Z, baby. This is actually really nice. So this is an eBay seat cover. It's got a foam top and stitched TRI-Z on the side. So it's not like a spray-on, or this should last a really long time. And it's a nice, feels like nice fabric. It's got the black stitching. This will match perfectly. And it was really inexpensive. It was like under $40. So that should be pretty nice. In fact, I think I'll put this on right now. First thing we're gonna do is throw our cover in the dryer. This is gonna help it When it's warm, it stretches a little bit easier. You can do it in the sun as well if it's a sunny day. It does the same thing. So here's our seat. The old seat cover is actually in really nice shape, and just by looking at the staples on the underside, I think this was actually just recently replaced. Usually the staples are all rusty and stuff, but regardless, this isn't the color that we want for this color scheme, so we're gonna have to take it off. Let's first take our seat latch off, just get this out of the way, make things a little bit easier. These usually aren't very tight. These ones were no exception. You can see these staples look nice and new. So the easiest way for me to get these out is with a flathead. You just tilt them up like that, and then you take a pair of dikes and just twist it, and it comes right out. Do another one. You just get the edge of the screwdriver under there, spin it, and just twist it right out. Some people like to put their new seat cover right on top of the old one. I'm a big fan of taking the old cover off for a couple reasons. One, because usually they're not as nice as this one, so there's gonna be like imperfections and stuff, and that will sometimes show through. You might not see it, but sometimes you can feel it, or like see a seam or something where a rip is on the underside. So I just like to take these off. They even have in the instructions that came with the new cover to take this off. Some of the other seat covers I put on, I think 4Works is one of them, they actually want you to leave the old seat cover on there because they're not waterproof. So definitely read the instructions. But as far as what I like to do is, I'm a big fan of getting the old shit off. And plus then, you know, it's like, when it's all said and done, it's not like it looks nice, but there's a dull, dingy seat cover underneath. No way, man. Well, I thought we might get lucky and see some original seat coverage underneath, but we weren't quite as lucky. Just foam underneath. Peel this cover away, and the foam looks like it's in really nice shape, which is a big deal. But we did get lucky in the sense that because these staples were in such good shape, we can actually reuse these, or maybe even to resell on eBay. Put these in a nice little baggie so that the next owner doesn't lose any of them. It's always nice to reuse things. You know, this seat foam is in really good shape. I was a little bit worried because, you know, with these old machines, sometimes it can be really hard to replace the foam. There is a company called Moto Seat that I use pretty frequently, and I think they actually do make foam for the TRI-Z, but sometimes it takes a while for it to get here because, especially with something like the TRI-Z, because they have to mold it. They don't have them in stock or anything. But our seat Pam.
My name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
Our seat pan is really dirty, so let's wash this thing off before we put the new seat cover on. I wanted to stop to take a minute to thank you for making it this far into the video. I also wanted to stop to thank the companies and sponsors that are helping to make this project possible. Both of these TRI-Zs came from Power Sports Nation. Power Sports Nation is the largest parts provider for ATVs and UTVs in the country. If you guys follow the channel, you've probably seen me name drop them quite a few times. Now, if you are looking for parts, I encourage you to go to the Power Sports Nation website. While they did provide the parts for this project, what they specialize in is utility ATVs and side-by-side parts. The search engine on their website works great, and it's consistently updated with the new machines and parts that they get into inventory. If you're enjoying the video so far and looking for a way to help out, giving the video a thumbs up, leaving a comment below, or subscribing to the channel all help out a ton. Products and tools in the video are listed in the description below, and purchasing from those links does help me out a lot. I get a small kickback from that, and there's no extra cost to you. And if you're looking to support the channel even further, there is the option to join. All channel members get guaranteed responses to their YouTube comments. All right, guys, I am done talking. Let's get back to the video. Now you can clean things like this with a paper towel and wipe things down as much as you want. But for me, the best way for anything that's got grooves or little things that could catch, you know, lint is gonna be the brush. It's just, in my experience, the best way. It's just my experience. Could be wrong, don't know. But we're gonna make it, we'll wet it down. Might as well do both sides. And then I'm gonna use awesome degreaser. You can get this stuff at Dollar Tree, except now it's $1.25 tree. Everything's gone up, man. What the heck? Just spray this down, give it like 15, 20 seconds to kind of like eat the dirt. It breaks it down a little bit. We'll spray a little bit on our brush, and then we're just gonna scrub it away, man. Look at that dull, dingy, dirty dirt just scrubbing away, man. It's like it was never even there in the first place. Just really unbelievable that you can clean dirt off with soap. And then we're just gonna blast that shit away like an illegal immigrant would with a government-provided check. It really does look good, though. So our seat pan is nice and clean. What we're gonna do is put some spray tack on the underside of our seat foam. And what we're gonna use is this 3M Super 77. This stuff is really good. It doesn't need to have a super sticky bond. It's really just to kind of keep it in place while you're stapling the cover on. This stuff is really good, but it's messy. So I've got it over the trash can, and I've got a pizza box here. I just kind of like to, if you can do it outside, that works too. But it gets all over the place. Even if you seem like you're controlling it, if you ever use this stuff, it's like you feel it on your forearm hair and stuff afterwards. It's weird. So we're just gonna spray a thin layer on the bottom. Oh shit, it just came out. There it goes. It was like spraying out sideways and stuff, man. That's really all you need. So our seat foam is nice and tacky. Go ahead and take our pan and just put it in place. Just kind of press it on there. Again, it's really, the spray tack is just to kind of keep it in place while we put the cover on. We'll grab our cover out of the dryer. It should be nice and warm. This is nice. It's got the pocket at the top, so it kind of holds the seat cover in place. Some seat covers actually don't have that, especially the cheaper ones, and it can kind of make it a pain in the ass for installation. Now, as far as stapling these down, people have a lot of trouble with these. I used to have a lot of trouble with them too. I like to usually start at the top since you have the pocket. Okay, I knew that was going to happen because I actually had it on for the stapler because we're using the compressed air. But anyways, we want to make sure this is nice and centered up. So we'll go in the front here, flip it over. I'm just going to put a staple or two. You don't want to go crazy. The big thing is put 3 of them up here. You want to get everything lined up before you start going crazy with the staples. Once you have it, mostly in place, then you can start putting a whole crap load of them in there. But a lot of people, they just start hammering down on one side, and then it's usually uneven or something. So we'll do that. And now I'm going to come to the back. This seat is a little bit easier because it has really nice seams that kind of outline where it needs to sit, and it also is crafted nicely. I've seen ones that are they're crooked and stuff, and that makes installation more difficult. This one appears to be pretty nice. Of course, it's not installed. We install and put all the staples in. Maybe it'll be all messed up. Who knows? But I want to make this seam kind of even with the edge of the back of the seat. So it looks like we'll have plenty of slack up here to tighten that all down. So I will make sure this is nice and square in the back. Kind of fold it over with my hands. And then sometimes I'll use the bench. Lay that flat against the bench. And we'll come in here, get a couple staples in place. 1, make sure this is nice and straight. 2, 3. Now we can check it again. You want to keep checking it. Yeah, that's going to look nice. You can see, if you look at it, it's nice and square. The sides have an even amount. So we should be good. Now, believe it or not, that's really the hard part. Those beginning staples, if you can get them nice and even, you're usually pretty good to go. I will say that this is a very easy seat cover. It's very square. There's no weird edges or anything. If you do something like a Quadzilla, it's a real pain in the ass, and you got to do some finessing. Just take your time with this stuff. I'm going to come pull this side around, and basically what I'll be doing is going back and forth, kind of filling in the gaps with staples. Again, not going down the line like this. You want to go back and forth, and keep flipping it over, checking to make sure you're not throwing it out of alignment or anything. It's really easy to do, and you start rushing. So we'll hold this like so. And if you've got a seat cover that's really tight, like they didn't give you enough slack, I'll show you a trick. Okay, so let's say that this side needed to be pulled in a little tighter, and you just can't get a grip on the material. If you hold the material straight out like this and put the tip of the gun here and then press down and drag, it'll stretch the material. I'm not gonna do that because this one doesn't need it, but using the actual stapler to stretch the material, it kind of bites into the material and then you can drag it. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you use a staple gun like this, when you practice with it, you'll see what I mean. By the way, this staple gun is great. It's made by Arrow. It's the PT50. Really affordable. I'll have this in the description below, and I'm using T50 staples. They're 3/8 of an inch long. They work really well, and they don't stick in too far that you're, getting caught on your butt. Well, this seat cover came out really nice. Really, really nice finish. It's nice and smooth. There's a couple little things right here. I think they'll disappear once this sits in the sun for a little bit and it gets a little bit of ride time on it. And then the sides came out really nice. There's really no imperfections at all. The only spot I kind of messed up on is right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's a little bit of an imperfection in the foam. I probably could have put some duct tape on the foam before I put the seat cover on, and that would have fixed it, but it's barely noticeable. And again, that's another one of those little imperfections that might disappear over time. On the underside, went around with a razor blade and just cleaned up any of the material that was a little bit too long, like right here. It was covering this bumper, which that's something we got really lucky with this seat, is all the bumpers and stuff I believe are there. The only ones I'm not sure about are up here. I'll have to check a schematic. There may be ones that go there. Not 100% sure. We got to test this seat out, see what it looks like, man. See if our colors match. I mean, if this yellow is the right yellow on the frame, that looks pretty damn good, man. I mean, do we really need to go much further? I would say we could call this a complete restoration. All right, so the seat came out great. We've got a few more big-ass packages. All right, so these are special, man. Let's start right here with this smaller priority mail. It's from Wicked Metal Designs. This is my buddy Rob. He makes some really, really cool stuff. Oh man. Some of this stuff, actually, I'm not sure if it will be available for everyone to buy. Got some heavy duty triple row pegs. Man, these things are super sharp. These are the same pegs that I have on the Voodoo Banshee. Freaking love them, man. Your feet stay nice and planted, and they're big, nice oversized, reinforced, but they're not so big that they're in your face. Even though the huge pegs are great when you're riding super hard, but for this application, these are gonna be perfect. Way, way better than stock. Really, really nice craftsmanship. Rob does an excellent job. And just for comparison, here's the OEM peg. I mean, dude, it's gotta be at least twice the size. Plus you've got the kick up at the end. That's really nice. The only thing is you do lose the folding function, which I'm sure that could be valuable on a three-wheeler. However, for the dunes and stuff, I don't think I don't think it's gonna be that necessary. And then the other piece here, this is super special, man. Not that the pegs aren't, but from what I understand, Rob designed this special. He's doing a TRI-Z right now as well, so it was actually very convenient that he could design this one. Grab bars are not easy to come by for the TRI-Z. This is really nice. He's got YTZ in there. For those of you that don't know, the TRI-Z is called the YTZ 250. And it's a drop grab bar, which I absolutely love. You can see it's angled downward. That makes moving the machine around a little bit easier. I don't know why everybody doesn't do drop grab bars, especially from the factory. It just makes more sense in my opinion. This is a really nice piece. So thank you, Rob from Wicked Metal Designs. I will have his website linked in the description below if you want to pick up foot pegs like this. He does make pegs just like this for other machines as well. I think the ATC 250R, the Banshee, and a couple other machines as well. Next, big box. Oh, I wonder where this is from. Oh, maybe it's from Alba. I don't know. I know exactly what's in here, man. It actually says it on the side of the box, too. Very excited about this. We are going to be running some Alba paper. Now, we've got rims in here, man. Look at these big bastards. These are 10 inches. 10 inches in diameter. I wanted to get larger rims because everybody's saying with these three-wheelers, the last thing you want to do is have the tires bite and you roll over. So sliding is going to be a big thing, and a taller rim is going to allow for a smaller sidewall on the tire. So I think that'll make it a little bit more rigid and a little bit more easier to slide. You guys let me know in the comment section below, because again, this is my first three-wheeler, not just build, but I have almost no experience with three-wheelers. So I think this is a good choice here. I got the beadlocks as well because one, they look awesome, and two, because when you're sliding really hard, that's when the tire is bound to pop off of the rim. I've never actually run Alba beadlocks. So many people have said great things about them. If you run these things or you have experience with them in the past, let me know in the comment section below what you think of these Alba rims. It's unbelievable. You can get a full set for like 400 bucks shipped. Really, really great deal. Now I ordered these in raw, both with the beadlock ring and the rim. You can get them in all different colors right from Alba. I don't even think it changes the price. But the reason I did that is because I plan to get these rims anodized or whatever kind of coating I need to match that factory gold. And then I want to make the ring a flat black. So I think that'll make it look kind of like the Resto Mod, like original color scheme. If you guys know somebody who can coat the rims to make them look like that OEM gold, let me know in the comment section below. There's a couple people I think I might be able to do it, but I'm not 100% sure which way I'm going to go with that. Really cool rims though. I'm stoked. And last but not least, we've got the biggest and most special box of all. Well, actually the plastic box was probably bigger, but anyways, this is from BBC Off-Road. Now, if you guys don't know who BBC is, they are known for their trike builds. They build modern trikes, and they do work on older trikes as well. So these were the perfect guys to hit up for this project. I was super stoked to hear that they wanted to help out. Let's crack open this thing, and we can talk about it more. Really, really excited. This has been sitting here, and I wanted to open it with you guys, so that can be very painful sometimes when this stuff is just sitting, waiting to be opened. And I so badly want to open it up, but I wanted to open this up with you guys. Oh, look at that. Let's get all this stuff out of here first. Oh man, let's crack this stuff open. This is awesome. I didn't realize that they were sending a black wheel. I think in one of my previous videos I had said that I was going to do black wheels, so maybe that's why they sent black, which would make sense, but I think if I'm stripping it to make it gold, I might see if I can send this back and get just a bare polished one, because I'd hate to strip this off after they've done such a nice job. Powder coating, sweet rim though, with the Shamrock style, and it is a 12-inch rim. I was talking about getting a 10-inch originally, and people were like, no, dude, you gotta do 12-inch, keep the original side, and that also, just like with the 10-inch rims in the back that we're doing in the back, it will keep for a stiffer sidewall, and we'll have a little bit less give in the front tire, which I think is important. All right, let's move down the line here. We've got a bunch of little boxes. It's basically an entire setup to convert the front end to those CRF 150R shocks. This is front axle. Nothing too crazy there. Oh, I know what this is. Front hub. Dude. This is so cool for me. Wow, man. That is beautiful. That is really nice. All right, moving down the line. This hardware, that's what it looks like. Oh, wow, is that nice? Got everything labeled. Very nice. And then this, I think this is a disc conversion plate. Not 100% sure, but I believe that's what that is. That's what it looks like. It looks like it goes on here so that you can run, I would imagine, a CRF 150R disc. And they even included bar clamps. I may actually send these back as well, because the Hermosi clamps will be replacing this. I guess I'll hang on to them, make sure that the Hermosi setup can work, which I'm sure it will. But that's really nice that they include that with the kit. And then this, oh man, BBC hooking it up. Holy crap, dude, there's like 100 stickers here. Oh, they've got all the different colors. So they make a Kawasaki, a KTM, any brand that you want, they can convert it and make a trike, make a trike out of it. So they probably have a different color for pretty much any brand you can think of. That is really cool though, man. You guys know I love stickers. BBC Off-Road. Freaking sweet, man. Oh, man. And this is the biggest box. The biggest of the smallest boxes. Oh, man. I know what these are. Dude. Wow. Billet Triple Tree. TRI-Z 150R forks. So it's for the TRI-Z. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it's for the CRF 150R forks. Dude, these are beautiful. Wow. Dude, look at the pattern. That is so cool. This is going to be an absolutely awesome setup. So we are going to be upgrading, like I said, to the CRF 150R forks. That's because the forks on the TRI-Z from the factory freaking suck, especially the 1985. They only made it from 85 to 86. And in 86, they upped the size of the forks from 35 millimeters to 39 millimeters, but that's still super skinny. And you can see how beefy these triple tree clamps are compared to the OEM ones. It's insane how much beefier this is. And that's to accommodate the 150R forks, which, yeah, 150R is a small dirt bike, but believe it or not, the 150R forks are so much more beefier and sturdy than the ones that came on the TRI-Zs. I did get a set of really nice, I think they're from a 2012 CRF 150R. I sent them directly to Rocket Ron. He's going to be building them for a 250-pound rider. I think that should be pretty good. I'm about 225, and with gear, you know, I'm probably like 235, and plus whoever this goes to, I feel like that's a good number, 250. So the forks will be coated black, and then I think I'm gonna see if maybe I can get these anodized black so that you can still see the machine marks. If I were to get these powder coated, they'd be really smooth. I mean, it would look nice, but I kind of like that machine look, so maybe we'll get those anodized black. And as far as the clamp goes, I don't see any reason why we can't use the Hermosi SBC 720. So we're gonna have the anti-vibe setup on here. This is gonna be like the smoothest riding three-wheeler in the history of man. Really nice, clean setup. You can get setups like this from BBC Off-Road. They make them for almost anything. They turn dirt bikes into three-wheelers. They can turn a lot of stuff into three-wheelers. They do a lot of custom stuff, really, really cool builds. All this stuff, I believe, they machine in-house. So it's a very unique company. You're not going to find stuff like this really anywhere else. Not that I know of anyways. Very, very, very cool. I'm super excited to run it. All right, man, so we have got some seriously cool stuff here for the TRI-Z. I am really, really excited. It's always cool when you actually start to see the pieces like in person, and then it's slowly going to be coming together. Very, very exciting. There's some more stuff. You know, I haven't even picked out tires for this thing. I was really curious what your guys' opinion is. I'd like to get a tire that can grip when you want to go straight, but also slides side to side really well. I haven't really decided quite yet what I want to choose. I'd like to try a different tire as well. You know, I've been using a lot of Kenda stuff, love their tires, and Obor, we've used them. I'd like to try a different brand. So whatever you guys suggest, let me know in the comment section below. I was thinking maybe Turf Tamers, maybe. Not necessarily for the sand, but you know, for regular trails and stuff. I think Turf Tamers, you know, I've run them before on old quads. I've never had a new set though. Not sure how they bite, so you guys let me know in the comment section below. And you may have noticed I'm wearing this freaking sweet-ass shirt. BBC TRIKES sent me 2 t-shirts, and they even sent me a hat, and it's a trucker-style hat. So I love these hats. You'll probably see this in future videos. And now, I know I said earlier in the video that we would revisit this box in this video, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, last box, I promise. You guys are probably getting tired of box, but how could you ever get tired of box? Anyways, let's open this up. We've got some LED headlights, man. Really not that cool compared to some of the other stuff in this video, but it's going to be very cool. So, you know, this is a resto mod, so the whole idea is to keep it looking somewhat original, but updating all the features. And headlights is one of those things. I don't even have to drive a TRI-Z to know that the headlights are probably not that great. So they're not gonna be as good as these LEDs. Now the key is, I'd like to make them look just like, you know, they originally would have off the showroom floor. Obviously, you're gonna be able to tell because I mean, here's the old headlight. Now, this was the best in terms of dimensions that I could find. Width-wise, pretty close. And the height, that's where we're a little bit off. So what I'm thinking we can do, let me get the headlight housing right here. If I can get this in the housing, there'll be a little bit of space on the top and the bottom, and then just put some kind of like a rubber buffer or something to fill the gap, and then I don't think it'll look too bad. I don't want it to look tacky. That's the big thing here. This is the original housing. These are really hard to come by and they're very expensive. There's a company I found that just reproduced these housings. They're expensive though, man. I think they're like $300-400 and they don't have the vents down here. It has a different look. So I'd really like to keep this OEM. So in the next episode, we're gonna have to strip this because you can see it's spray painted. I don't know if you can see, they painted over the stickers and stuff underneath and you can see the yellow under there. So we're going to strip this housing, and then I think it's good, you know, in terms of the plastic integrity and whatnot. Oh, there's even an indicator light up here. How about that? They just painted right over it. So yeah, we'll clean this up, and then we're going to have to make brackets to fit the the cage and everything so that this can fit up to our triple tree clamps, because this actually bolts up to the triple tree clamps, and the BBC kit, it doesn't accommodate for this. They actually have their own headlight kit, and it's a nice headlight kit, but it really changes the look of it, and that would kind of defeat the resto mod purpose. So I've actually got another headlight cage here that's twisted from the other TRI-Z, so we're gonna straighten this one out and then modify it to fit. We might not even have to modify it, but I'd rather do the one that's bent up because this one's in really good shape, and if we're gonna be modifying anything, I'd hate to destroy this, you know, this is basically a piece of history here. So we're gonna straighten this one out. We'll use this, take our headlight housing and our new LEDs, and we'll make it work. So that's what we'll be doing in the next video. I will see you guys there. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing for more content like this. I will see you there next week, guys. Peace out.